it's me, Mario. I'm so dumb. Hey, it's Sherry. Anyways, I was sitting down here to glue book a little bit, and I just thought I'd turn on the camera and say hey, and thank you for the warm welcome back. It was really nice to be missed. I'm working in this New York Brunswick Island official vacation guide. And I don't know how well it's going to hold up, but we'll see because it's just glued. So I always try to look for one that's pressed so that you'll have this little line here. And that usually helps. And I usually go in the middle and give it a good tug to see if it will pull apart easily. But we'll see. He's looking at that. Ah! But yeah, I just started this and I just thought, I'll turn on the camera for a minute and say hey while I had time. That actually works better when I turn off the overhead light. Otherwise it just reflects. And I got some pretty good natural light even on a cold, rainy day. We had some beautiful weather, just absolutely beautiful. And now we're back to cold, and I think it's actually supposed to rain for several days. You guys know that a lot of times when I'm going through images and things and I talk, my body will just go on autopilot, and it'll sometimes just pick the next word it thinks I was going to say, even though it may not be the correct word. So sometimes I say some really strange things. But yeah, how have you guys been? I've been well. My camera just wasn't working once I changed into this room, because this is my son's old room. And I love the space and all that, but yeah, I just really needed to get a camera. And I finally got off my lazy butt and got one. I only got like a $20 camera. Didn't even get a good one. So yeah, so it's good to be back. I noticed someone had left a message or a comment on one of my videos about if I was coming back. I think that was like 6 months ago. And I wished I would have seen it, but YouTube I don't know, they just didn't give me a notification of it, so I didn't even see it. But that was very sweet. Yeah, I got no good excuse for a break except for pretty much being busy with life and being lazy. So I have taken up square dancing. That's been fun. I've given up clogging. I left my team. And I had given up before. I think I told you guys right before I left. Oh, hello, Aunt. Hello. Do you want to come here? Look, I got glue skin. Where are you going? Because this was my son's room, I do still get ants back here. Because, yeah, he would always leave stuff out. So I couldn't squish him. I had to put him in the garbage can. It's next to me. Hopefully he won't make it out. Oh, let me see how I'm going to do this. I think I'm just going to put a lot of images here. So I gave up clogging, and starting right after Labor Day, I started square dancing. And it's been a lot of fun. I tried to get Jeremy to square dance with me, but he had, Las Vegas, woohoo! He had no interest whatsoever. So he was like, no. So I got my cousin Margaret to come with me, and I learned the boys' part. and she did the girls' part, and it's been a lot of fun, although it was very confusing to some of the men. Some of the men, the older men, did not like it. They did not like it at all that I had learned the men's part, because they were like, there was this one night, this guy, he gave a call for the ladies to spin or something, or to turn, or what, I can't remember what it was. And we were going over it 3 or 4 times because we were trying to learn the call. And every time, the men were like in the middle holding arms. And every time that he would call it, he would drop my arm. And it was making me mad, you know. I was like, why is he doing this? And then finally, he turned around and he got mad at me. He's like, aren't you going to spin? Or something like that. And I said, I'm a boy. And his face turned bright red. Oh, well, he was already kind of red because he was mad. But he got embarrassed red. And he did not speak to me ever again. That absolutely was the last night that he ever said anything to me. He left the square because after it's like I think it's a 10-minute is a tip. Did you dance for like 10 minutes and then you take a break and then you like thank your square, and then traditionally you'll go to another square, or you'll like change positions. I know I'm giving you a lot of stuff about square dancing you didn't ask for, but I'm just telling you all that to say this, that he hightailed it out of there as soon as he could. He could not get away from me fast enough. But it was funny because a lot of the women, you know, they were really supportive of me. They're like, oh, it's so great that you're learning the man's part because there's just not all that many men that dance. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's not really why I'm doing this. I started dancing the man's part in clogging, and I've gotten used to it, and I enjoy being the leader and spinning the other person. I do not enjoy being spun because, you know, I did dance the girls' part a couple of times in clogging, and I was always so keen to get back to dancing the man's part because it's just much more me. It's much more who I am. It's funny though, when I dance with my friend Shannon, I dance the girls' part. No. I dance the boys' part, and she danced the girls' part, but she still refused to let me lead. We would be like fighting on stage because she'd be like trying to lead me and I'd be trying to lead her. And it's funny, in our life, that is still the way we are. I'm trying to lead her and she's trying to lead me. I guess that's just our dynamic. She's a good girl though. But yeah, I just graduated from mainstream square dancing. So yay, go me. It was really wild because at the end, I didn't realize it, but like, because you join a club and all this stuff, but at the end of when you get your certificate, they do this little ritual thing where they have like, at each position of the square, they say these little things, like they light a candle. They have like the candle of friendship. There's a candle of duty. There's one of entertainment. I cannot remember what the last one was. Dang it. Well, actually, enjoyment was the last one. I can't remember what the middle one was. I'm going to have to ask. But, I was not prepared. And they were like, okay, everybody come to the center of the floor that's going to graduate. And so we went, and then all of a sudden they turned the lights down low and they started lighting these candles and saying these things and all that. And of course, you know me, I got to be silly. And so when it was all done, I said, "Are we Freemasons now?" And of course, everybody laughed. I can't take. I just can't take a tense moment, and everybody was just kind of tense because it took it. I mean, it took everybody off guard because I mean, we just came there to learn how to square dance. We did not realize that we were like joining a gang, but really that is what it's like. It was kind of like they lit the candle of duty. It was like, if you're called on to um, serve your club, then you should step up and do it with honor. And I was like, dang, because I mean, they were like already on me to take a position of an office. And I'm like, man, I have not even graduated, and you are already getting me trying to get me to lead this club. And I hate that. That is one thing that's so bad about being like a natural leader, is that people they will suck you your energy right out of you because they will just like, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? And it's like, no, I had no intention of doing any of those things. So they were trying to get me to take an office. I'm like, no. They're like, are you going to join the club? And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, we have this office open and this office open if you'd like to do an office. And I'm like, well, I would kind of like just to get to know like how the club is run, first. And, oh, it's not that hard. We could teach you as you go along, And I was like, well, I still, I think I want to wait. Well, we really need officers, and, I'm just like, buddy, I'm about to go to a different square dancing club if you don't stop. Oh my God, it was just like, please just stop. And what was so funny is then they asked my cousin Margaret, and they didn't even get on to her about joining as an officer. And I'm like, really? She's got way more time than I do. She's not married, and she's like looking for things to actively do. And you're like, I mean, heck, she joined a bowling league to find something to do. I will tell this about Margaret because I thought this was funny. When we joined Square Dance, she was really taken aback when our caller told us that it was going to take until March or April to get through all the calls or, to finish the class. And she just could not believe that it was going to take that long. She's like, what? I don't understand it. And I'm like, well, we got to learn it, I was like, that, we practice. He'll teach us and we'll practice. And she could not understand. And then, because this was before our very first lesson. So this was, I guess it wasn't, okay, I take it back. It wasn't our caller that said that. It was like the information guy. I had talked to the club president and got some more information, and I said, yeah, and the class will probably run to blah, 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 and all this stuff. And she was just thinking it was going to be like 1 or 2 classes. And I'm like, yeah, no. And so then we go to our first square dance class. And, I mean, we just jump right in it. And it's hard. Let me tell you, square dancing is hard. It is physically not challenging. I mean, you can work up a sweat and you get your steps in, but you're mainly just walking. It's mainly you're just walking, doing different figures. But the problem is that the music is so fast and you have to listen to what the caller says. You have to figure out where you are and do the move in relation to where you are at the time. So he may say, head couples, reel around. You've got to know that you're a head couple. Things like that. Or he may say, there's a move called Ferris wheel. And you've got to know where you are in relation, oh, let me look at these couples. Am I an inside couple or an outside couple? If I'm an outside couple, I'll do this. And you've got seconds to think about it, do it, and by that time he's already doing the next call. It is so hard. And we do it like on Monday nights at 8:30, and let me tell you, everybody starts out pretty good, and then about well, no, we do it at 7:30. We start at 7:30. Is it? Let me think. Yes, 7:30. Me and Margaret always get there early. So it starts at 7:30. And we, by like 8:30, everybody is just so mentally just like, what? He'll go, veer left, and everybody will just stop for a second, and then he'll be, the caller will laugh at us. Because we can't remember what's right and left and all that. Because, it just, after a while, it just all starts to blur together because it's so fast. So fast. That stuck to the page before I wanted it to. But, alright, we're rolling with it. We rolling with it because that's what we do here. We just roll. Because ain't none of this going to matter. Ain't none of this going in the museum. It's just to have fun. I'm not going to stress about it. Because there ain't nothing to stress about. So let's talk a little bit about last year. I had an amazing last year, and I also had one of the hardest years of my life. So, yeah, there you go. I saw two people perform that never in my wildest dreams would I ever thought that I would ever see perform live. One was Barry Manilow, and I cried my eyes out. I just cried as soon as he stepped on the stage. I cried and cried. I cried that whole concert. I felt so stupid. I felt so stupid. I ruined my makeup. I could not stop the tears from coming down my face. I just, I don't want to cover up the kindred spirit. It was just crazy because when he stepped out on stage, I just had this moment where I remembered like 10-year-old Tracy watching him, or 9-year-old Tracy. He had like some kind of concert on HBO, and I watched it like every single time it was on. I just loved his music. I loved his voice. And I was always just really big into music. And I just never thought I would ever see him live, That was just pie in the sky and whatever. And I remembered that. I didn't even think about it or anything about like, oh, I never thought I would see him live. Did not think about it until the moment he walked out on stage. And when he walked out on stage, it was like, I thought, wow, I never thought this would be a moment in my life. And I just cried. I could not stop crying. And then, so once that happened, Jeremy and I started talking a lot about like our childhoods and stuff. And I told him about Casey and the Sunshine Band. I loved Casey and the Sunshine Band. I would constantly sing Shake Your Booty. Casey was the first man I ever loved. And everybody would ask who my boyfriend was, and I would say Casey. But I had no idea what a boyfriend was or anything. I just knew I loved his music. And that's all I knew about Casey, is that I loved his music. Therefore, I loved him. Hello, Willow. You coming to see everybody? Yeah. Hello, Eeper. Hello, Eep. Look at you. Don't show him your butt now. Come on. Come on now. Let's not, We're not that kind of channel. No, we're not. You gonna turn around? Yeah. You wanna look up here? You wanna look up? Yeah, no, you don't wanna look up. You don't wanna look up at people. Come over here. Yeah, come here. Let's get off my desk. Where are you going? Oh, yeah, flop backwards. There she goes. This is Willow's preferred position, right on her back. In baby mode. Hers as a baby. Yeah, where's your baby? Mwah. Love your little death mittens. Yes, I do. Pretty little death mittens. So we were talking about childhoods and things like that, and I was like, I would love to see KC because, he was the first man I ever loved. I just loved his music. I didn't know anything about boyfriends. I was only like 3. I do remember I wrote KC on everything I had. So we found out that Casey was down in Atlanta. So we went to go see him. And it was fun. It was an outdoor concert. It was an amazing theater. We had such a lovely night. It was great. It was so great. It was fun. Everybody was just up and dancing and having a good time. That's what I loved about it. We got to see quite a bit of music here, recently. But, so yeah, those were the 2 big things that, happened. I got to go to Vegas for the first time, and that was so amazing. And, was it the first time? I've been again, so that can't be right. So, I guess so, because that was this year, and so it was last year. So, yeah, but we went to Vegas again this year for my birthday, because that's what I said. I was like, I want to go to the desert. I fell in love with the desert. I want to explore it more. Then it was hard, because I got diagnosed with panic disorder, and I had some very trying times in the summer. It was really hard to live in my skin. Every moment was painful. Every fiber of my being, there was like for a week, every fiber of my being just said, "You're dying. You're dying. You're going to die. You're dying. You're dying right now. Right now, you're dying any second." And it'd be like nothing would be wrong. I mean, I'd be breathing fine. Nothing. But it was just this overwhelming, just craziness. Willow. And it would just, and it was really, I couldn't even work. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't even sit still. It was awful. It was terrible. Luckily, my doctor helped me. She got me going, realizing that I have generalized anxiety with panic disorder. She helped me figure out what triggered the spiral, and we figured out that that's what had happened, that pretty much I got triggered and spiraled, which apparently can happen in panic, and it's just something that I have to deal with it, and it's nothing that I can really control, and that's something that's been hard for Jeremy to understand. Willow, nobody is here to see me rub on you. Everybody kind of wants me to be gluing in this book, but I can't do it when you're laying in my arms. You just tell me to figure it out. Do you see something over there that's interesting? Do you need to go? Where are you going? Yeah, that's not helpful. That's not helpful at all, because I'm using that. You're not being a good co-host at all. So yeah, I mean, it was hard for Jeremy to see me go through that because I mean, it would be like we would once once I got through the hurdle and I was starting to come down, I would still just have these random really bad attacks, and we would be sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden I would just jump up, and he would go, what, and I'd be like, panic attack, panic attack. And he'd be like, what can I do? I'm like, nothing, just, I'll get over it. And I would just walk around until I would get over it. But, like, there would be times, like, I'd be walking through Walmart. I can remember this so clearly. I'm walking through Walmart. Oh, bless you, baby. And, oh, goodness. Are you okay? Oh goodness, now I don't want you just blowing snot all over me. Now get up there if you're going to blow snot. Get up on the chair, baby. She still won't do it. She's sitting on my shoulder. She won't move. But I was in Walmart, and it was just like, oh my God, it was like, I'm walking and all of a sudden, you're dying. What? It was just this random thought in my brain. You're dying. You're dying right now. You're going to die. You're dying. You're going to fall out in this floor. You're going to die right here in Walmart. And I was like rationally thinking, I feel okay. My heart's okay. My heart's not even racing. I'm fine. Goodness. First got the sneezes. So, yeah, just randomly having just a horrible panic attack right in the middle of Walmart. And I just... Are you okay? Bless you, baby. And I just had to, like, hang out at the Walmart until it passed. And I could get a hold of myself so I could check out. But, yeah. The good thing is, baby, goodness. The good thing is that it's manageable now, and I'm feeling much, much better. But I do have cat snot all over my stuff. All right, I think I'm going to go and attend to my sneezy cat, and maybe I might clean off my desk this weekend. Who knows? Happy Easter, guys. It's Good Friday, and good news is on the way, right? Our Lord and Savior laid down his life for us this day, that he may bridge the gap between us and God. Hallelujah. All right. God is good. Bye.